their agenda is like demons, like we see in Shastra, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. They, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, he heard that this child is going to kill him, so he said, kill all children. All newborn children in Mathura, kill them all. Oh, that's a story. That's in some Hindu mythology story. No, it's happening now. They're stopping agriculture because saying the plants are giving off carbon dioxide. It's giving off carbon dioxide, and then no, people are giving off. You're burning gas and coal and wood, that's producing carbon dioxide. So we stop it. Stop burning gas. No gas. So no cars, because cars are burning petrol. Now electric vehicles. It's all a lie. They want people. They call the population. That means us and everybody. They call useless eaters. We are useless eaters. They are the only ones who are entitled to live and enjoy flying by private jet to different beautiful places. And what are the private jets? Are there any electric jets? No, they're all consuming. One private jet is consuming. You see at the airport, you're sitting in the airplane, a tanker truck comes. What? 5,000 liters. How many liters of petrol, of aviation fuel, it gets loaded into one plane to fly to Calcutta? You must have some idea. These tankers, at least 3,000 liters, 2,000 liters. But you're not allowed to burn, you're not allowed to have a car. They will fly to conferences in Switzerland by private jet, but they want you to give up your car. You have to only use electric vehicle. This is happening. They did a test. They drove one electric car until it stopped. And they couldn't get it going. Because there's all kinds of mechanisms. You cannot start the charge if the certain setting is... And where do the batteries come from? Small children are working underground in the mines digging lithium to make batteries. Yeah? And they're dying. But that they don't care. So, but they say that the Vedic literature, Bhagavad Gita, they call it ancient texts. They call this mythology. No, it's complete science. Everything is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains that material existence. Why are we troubled by all these things? Because you're saying, well, Maharaj is talking about things that we're not feeling anything. Nobody is taking our car away. Just even my friend Mohan went to Vijayawada by car. Nobody gave him any trouble. Maharaj is talking something theoretical, something. He's very intelligent, but his ideas, I don't know. No. I'm sure they have a plan how to See, I mean, the problem is that these demons, they're very intelligent, but they're not so intelligent. You know, they're failing to take some things into consideration. They complain about India that it produces too much carbon dioxide, because this electricity comes mostly by coal. Coal produces carbon dioxide. So I used to see they were complaining. They don't complain so much now. Why? Because if they build, now they're setting up, Mr. Modi went to United States and he got an agreement, some big company, General Electric or Boeing or somebody, they're going to start a jet engine factory in India. Why? They know that India uses that the electricity for running the machines in that factory will come from coal. They know it, but they ignore it. Why? Because labor is cheaper in India, and they'll be able to produce a jet engine and sell it. Even the Chinese will want it cheaper. Manufacturing costs are less. So you see, they have this lie. They have these lying pseudo-scientific ideas that they're promulgating. They're telling you all about greenhouse gases, but when it's convenient for them, they ignore that. See, and we'll make more profit by selling each engine if we make them in India. So you see, that's the nature of demons. What is that story? Who was it? One demon. He maybe it was Lord Shiva. He said, "I want this power." He said, "Okay, here's this power." Bomb. Okay, she's now, oh, I want to test it. Okay. This power is, you touch anything, it will explode. Who is that? Bhasmasura. So he said, touch your head. So he touched his head and exploded. See? So this sounds like just I mean, it sounds, maybe you are fortunate, you grew up hearing such things, you accept it, but I still have a little bit of Westerner in me, you know, that although the body is completely changed, that's another subject, but the Western thinking will be, this is, you know, mythological story. Anyway, the story is, so he touched his own head and his head exploded and he died. So you see, the demons, they're very intelligent, but they're not so intelligent. See? So there's some, who was it gave him the benediction? Lord Brahma?
Shiva.
Huh?
Shiva.
Lord Shiva, yes, he's specialist in these things. So we're talking about the globalists and their demonic programs, but there's some other signs that are good. Although the demonic program is mostly what we're in contact with. They make you take their medicine, and they make you study their curriculum, and they make you wear their synthetic fibers. You should not wear polyester clothes. You should wear cotton. Or silk is very nice also, but that's a luxury. Nobody wears silk trousers in the factory. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says so many things that I was reading in chapter 3, 4. In chapter 3, he says that, explains that all the living beings in the material world are born in ignorance and they're overcome by desire, impure desire. That means it's called lust. Pure desire means desire for Krishna, but who is born wanting Krishna? It's possible if you when your wife is carrying you keep your house completely Krishna conscious, then the child will be Krishna conscious. He will hear, even while in the mother, he will hear this transcendental sound. He will be pure. Otherwise, the child is born and he's carrying coverings of kam, krodh, lobh, lust, and just like we cannot see with our eyes, but there are certain cameras that they show the body is surrounded by some light of certain frequency, auras. So Krishna says all living beings are born Icha Dvesha Samudena Dvandve Mohana Bharata, overcome by lust and Icha Dvesha Mohana, and ignorance, delusion. And Krishna explains in this chapter that where is this lust? The scientists they have cameras that can detect things that you cannot see with the naked eye. Even they have high technology. When the one sperm enters the ovum, at that moment they detect a flash of light. I have the reference to the article. So it's very high power cameras must be used for that, because they're dealing with one single cell. But that's very interesting, isn't it? A flash of light. Why is that? That's the moment that the soul enters. The soul enters, comes from somewhere, enters a new body. At that moment there's a flash of light. It's like maybe you come in the house at night, immediately, even before you close the door, you turn on the light. Maybe that's an analogy. I don't know how good it is. But so they similarly have camera, they can photograph aura, different people. You see that is called prabandha in Sanskrit. We see pictures of acharyas, and even in other religions, Jesus Christ, he's surrounded by a halo of light. A halo. That is that. People don't know this, but there's a way to photograph it actually. And different people have different degrees. Some have none. They're very dark people. I mean, their consciousness is very low. You don't want to go near them. But other people, Prabhupada, some of us have seen his prabandha. Actual, not imagination. It's interesting. Not interesting. This is So Krishna explains that where does this lust, where is it? It's in the mind, it's in the intelligence. So as long as one's consciousness is covered by these external coverings, our consciousness is covered by different layers. Consciousness is subtle. It's not talking about the body. It's covered by what are those layers? Intelligence, mind, and the senses. This is each place Krishna says. Now this is science. Krishna is saying, if I manufacture some mobile cover, I know what it's made of. I know how it's assembled. Nobody can dispute. If you are the manufacturer of this device, nobody can dispute when you say this is how it's made. This is what it's made of. Nobody can dispute because you know it. So Krishna, he explains that the lust, where is it? It's in contaminating the intelligence and the mind. Intelligence is above the mind, and the senses. So we have experience. We see the dog is completely controlled by his nose. If he smells something, he cannot help going over and sniffing it and checking who has left this here. So if we pass, somebody is driving and they pass a pizza shop, he cannot resist stopping and going in. It means he's controlled by lust located in his senses. He's not thinking that, oh, I just had lunch and I have to be in an appointment. His mind is taken over by lust also. So his senses, his mind, intelligence, is covered completely. He's not thinking, I can lose my job if I don't come to office on time. No, but he must stop and have at least one slice of pizza, he's thinking. So this ordinary example, how we can understand Krishna's instruction, Krishna's explanation, and this is scientific. How can we can devise some test. See? A person who has some defect of sense of smell or taste, he never learned what a pizza is, so he doesn't have that lust. Personally, I completely have rejected chilies, so even has a negative effect. So we are born in ignorance. So our business is to get out of ignorance. In ignorance, we can't do anything beneficial for ourselves or for others. So you say, oh no, how is that? Why are you talking like that? And we have, people have designed so many technological devices. Even you are using mobile phone and artificial intelligence. But are they beneficial? No. There's actually, I read yesterday or within the past few days, there's a big meeting among the top artificial intelligence promulgators. What is the meaning? It was interesting that how to protect against the danger. They recognize that artificial intelligence is a big danger. As I said, they could take a picture of Vladimir Putin, and they can get a recording of his translator, and they can make a video where Vladimir Putin, you're watching on your TV screen, Vladimir Putin is saying, we are going to launch atomic attack against America. They can do that, and you're watching Vladimir Putin is speaking, and hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Immediately call your brother-in-law in Los Angeles, come quickly, book your ticket. See? And you cancel your visa. Of course, that would be not a bad thing. But people are in double ignorance. So, technology is dangerous if used by the wrong people. And unfortunately, wrong people means the developers of the technology and those who are propagating it, selling the devices. As far as the customer, let the buyer beware. We have to know what we're doing when we buy a mobile phone, and what is AI. We have to know. Otherwise, we can be. If we remain in, we have to know the world situation. We have to know that the world is controlled by people who are basically of demonic nature. So all these descriptions in the Bhagavatam of demons, this is not fairy story. These are, you see, the psychology is there. The psychology of the demon is simply to gratify his senses. Ravana, all these demons. Ishwar aham aham bogi. I am Ishwar. I am enjoyer. But in the Shastras, we see they're always killed by Lord Rama or by who killed Vanasura? What that you just said? Huh? Bhasmasura. Killed by?
Vishnu. Lord Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu. So we have to understand the world situation in which we are. That the controllers are of this demonic nature. They're not big, powerful demons. Like they have considerable power. They don't have such mystic power. Demons could be here and there in one moment, or even multiply and be in more places at once. They may not have that, but they have tremendous power. They control. Everybody wants to go to America. Why? America is such a beautiful country and the government is so good. But they control the government. The government makes a policy dealing with health, vaccinations, or communications, or energy. Who, on what basis? Not on science, base of science, on the basis of what some of these vested interests, means demonic interests, what they decide. Okay. Do you read these articles? I don't know. You have to. I don't know if they're in the local newspapers. I don't think you see much But it's very easy to come on them on the internet from reputable sources. See? Even the Senator, what is his name? Kennedy. He's the nephew of President Kennedy. He has a website called Children's CHD, Children's Health Defense. Very good website. Honest scientists are writing there. He himself has some qualification. So it's because he's a senator. I think otherwise somebody is thinking how to block it, how to stop him. But he is from that background. He is suing the internet companies. He's suing what is it called? Facebook or Meta. He's suing some of these companies for denying his freedom of speech. According to the United States Constitution, no one should interfere. If you have some complaint, you can go to Delhi and hold a sign and shout your complaint. So the American Constitution says everybody has this right. Every American has this right. It's the First Amendment. It seemed they didn't think of it at first. They had to add it as an amendment, but it's there. So he's suing them that they're blocking his expressions. See? So he's suing them for interfering with his constitutional rights. That's very interesting. That's important. So this is not secret. If you look at his website, it's very good. There's some very good, honest scientists and doctors who are writing there. Children's Health Defense, CHD. You're checking it?
Yeah, I was.
You bookmark it or whatever it's called. .com. And there are others also. So devotee means that he is addicted to knowing the truth. So that's why we don't want to read any books by anybody except that they're pure devotees. We don't want to read anybody who has changed Bhagavad Gita or translated it according to their own ideas. There are hundreds and hundreds of editions of Bhagavad Gita, so-called Bhagavad Gita, in English alone. But not one of them is worth anything, because the translator has given his own idea. Dr. Radhakrishna. See, Krishna says, offer to me. He's standing and telling Arjuna the whole science, and he says, give to me, Mom. But Dr. Radhakrishna has translated Bhagavad Gita. He says, not to Krishna, it is to the unborn within Krishna. What is this, unborn within Krishna? Krishna may be born or not born, he is Krishna. He's the absolute truth, the supreme being, the controller of the universe, the owner and controller. And Dr. Radhakrishna, though, he said no, it's to the unborn within Krishna. What is this? You see? So similarly, there's hundreds of, so we don't want to read anything except by pure devotee who has no other interest but hearing from authorities and so we are very fortunate that we have available the books and the recorded voice of Paramahansa, topmost pure devotee of Krishna, that we should read. We should not read other things. If we understand the principles, there's a lot of repetition in Bhagavad Gita. In this, but Prabhupada explains that repetition is necessary to ensure that proper understanding will result. If you read just the shlokas, it may go in one ear and come out the other. But if you read the purports, in which there is, in fact, considerable repetition of certain points, then it, because of our nature, this is necessary to ensure that we understand things properly. And then, understanding properly, we should not be interested in reading. Don't sit like this. We're not interested in reading books by anybody else except the acharyas. And even there are the previous acharyas, so Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, you see what a brilliant intelligence he had. At that time there was no tape recorders, what to speak of digital recorders. But there was shorthand. I don't know if they use shorthand still. They still use shorthand? Now they all have voice recorders. Huh?
Reporters use shorthand.
They still use?
News reporters, journalists.
Shorthand is a kind of a code, a written code. By, say, a tick mark might mean the, or so they can record. So wherever he went, and he was giving Pravachan, he had always among his followers, his retinue, some disciples, some cook, some manager, but he had shorthand writers, and they were recording. That's why we can read a lot of the preachings of Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, because it was recorded by shorthand technology. Otherwise, there are translations. Prabhupada has given Nectar of Devotion. What is that? He says himself, this book is a summary study of a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by
Rupa Goswami.
Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, who lived 500 years ago. We don't have any recordings of him, only some Talpatra manuscripts, but who can understand 500-year-old Bengali? The way, and where are they? Maybe the Bengali is there, but it's old Bengali. No. So Prabhupada has translated and given a summary in English. We only want to read such books. In order to translate, we have to be very qualified. I have one godbrother, his name is Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu. He's no more, but he, before becoming a devotee, what was he studying? He was studying Sanskrit, I think at Columbia University. So he joined Prabhupada's movement. So he is responsible for some people say that the Bhagavatam, after Prabhupada's departure, is mostly written by him, the translation. Other people say that it's written by another Haridayananda Goswami, who is very controversial because he doesn't dress like a Swami, he doesn't wear tilak, he doesn't have kuntimala, he doesn't have sika. So people, but some people say that actually his Gopi Paranadhana is the chief translator, because though Haridayananda Swami has more political power, his name is on the book. So you have to search to find out what Gopi Paranadhana's contribution was. But I met him personally. He was a good devotee. Not under illusion that I'm a Swami and therefore you bow down to me and offer everything to me. No. That is not devotional attitude. So, why is that? This is too sensitive. Where's our techie? So we have to be very thoughtful and approach everything in a proper way in order to avoid. We have to practice daily. We have to associate with devotees and avoid the association of non-devotees as much as possible. We have to become qualified. When qualified, then we can take advice from even non-devotees. Like you go to a doctor, but you have to have some intuition. Intuition is also a praman. And that intuition comes from Krishna. Krishna awards. But he awards only to those who are qualified. Qualified means they have the characteristics: humility, pridelessness, all the qualities of a devotee. And Krishna will award them with the knowledge. Where is Kaushik? Goes away and leaves this device, this thing, making feedback.
So it's over more than 1 hour.
So I'll end here. Any questions or comments? Was she at Ratha Yatra? Were you? No? Huh?